that. Yeah, I get that too. I get that every single day, 24/7.
But you know,
that's what I've been getting real. Yeah.
Massachusetts, Northeast
when they shake it, and I don't know if you guys have a lot of gas in your stomach after they hit you. When they shake it, when you release the gas,
views and opinions expressed on our show are not necessarily the views or opinions of myself or targeted Massachusetts. Thank you.
What's happening? Hello?
Hello?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
my
okay.
First time on, so I don't know.
That's okay. That's
I don't
quite
want to be
all
rude.
right.
I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't apologize.
How you doing, Frank?
Hey, very good. How you doing?
Hanging in there, man. Trying to.
Yeah, it's been really tough this summer. This is the worst summer I think I've seen.
Yeah. Oh, hold on for a quick second. What's the lady name that was just talking?
Keisha.
Keisha? Oh, okay. Yeah, I get the same exact thing, too. About the, you can smell the flesh burning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they basically like cooking our insides. You know what I mean? I get the same exact identical thing you were just talking about.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I swear to God.
And then I was surprised when I went online and it was like almost over 4,000 people are targeted individuals.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, I think the government is doing it to me.
What state are you from? What state are you from?
From California, but I'm not in California now. I left California to get away from it, but it followed me here.
Okay, I'm from California. I'm from California too. And I'm in LA actually right now. Once you write my number down, once you take my number down, so we can talk about this after the call or whatever. You know what I mean? The same kind of targeted that we received or whatever. Okay.
On the line because you know they be monitoring this phone call because you know they got someone trying to call.
Yeah, I mean,
you know you feel comfortable.
Yeah, I mean every last one of us is monitored 24/7 anyway, and honestly, they can hear everything.
I'm ready for your number.
Huh?
I'm ready for your number.
Area code 323-894.
894.
8433.
Okay, I'm just gonna. That's me right there. Did it go through?
What you say?
I just tried to call you just now, just to put your number in my phone. That was me.
661, right? Area code.
Yes.
Okay, I got you. I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk later about about this stuff right here though for sure. I get the same exact thing. Yeah, I was just telling Frank about that a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean? They was doing that to me. It was like awful. You know what I mean? It was like yeah.
I'm glad I was just saying today, Lord, because my family don't believe me. They think I'm stupid. Even when I tell them some of the symptoms, they still think I'm stupid. So I was just saying today, Lord, I wish I had somebody I can talk to that understands so we can communicate, we can talk, and just answer my prayers.
Call anytime.
Yeah. I mean, it's real. I mean, you ain't alone. All of us on here is going through the same thing. A lot of targeted most of it is the same, but some of them have a little differences. But for the most part, we all get all this shit. You know what I'm saying? For real.
How many years you been targeted?
10 years, but not with the weapons though. They just started next month. It'll be 2 years in September as far as the directed energy weapons.
Oh, okay.
I was just getting stalking and all the blacklisting and smear count, whatever, all the other bullshit. But they just never. This will be 2 years though next month for me getting hit with the directed energy weapons.
Yeah, Kevin, you need to get out of L.A. bad.
Yes, I am. I'm.
L.A. is bad. Yeah.
Yeah. They trying to literally kill me, man. I be going to my mom's room to get on the floor to go to sleep in her room. They still do the shit in there too. You know what I mean? I get on their bed. Sometimes they do it in there. Whatever part of the house I go to, they do it. You know what I mean? They don't give a damn.
They don't. And then now they putting witchcraft on me. This is something new. This just right here just started. And I'm like, oh my God. It's like I said, stages. I don't know if it's true. It's different stages you go through.
Yeah, well, Frank could be able to, explain a lot of this shit to you as far as how they do it and stuff like that,
Uh-huh. Well, thank you guys for talking to me today. I appreciate it. But
you're welcome.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you got to go through this shit. You know what I mean? For real.
Likewise.
Yeah, but I know one thing. I'm not going to go through this shit for no 15 and 20 years. That's for sure. They might as well just kill me right now because I ain't finna tolerate this shit. I ain't finna be no TI for no 15, 20, 30 years. You know what I mean? They might as well just go and just kill me. For real, because I ain't finna fuck that. Excuse my language.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to talk about it right now.
Some people say that they do an experiment. I don't know. Do you know how you got on the list, or you don't know?
Yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, a lot of people be saying experiments and this and that. Everybody case and situation, is different. I feel mine ain't no experiment. I don't believe, me personally though, I don't believe in that experiment shit. How the fuck they gonna experiment when they know what the fuck they doing in the first place? So what's their experiment about when they know they're trying to kill you with this shit? They already know their reaction. They already know the outcome of the situation, so it ain't no fucking experiment.
Yeah, that's a good point, man.
You're absolutely right.
Who has heard today, I didn't mean to interrupt, has anybody tried to get money out of the bank using their ATM card today? Because I'm getting texts saying that there is a problem with banks. So I just figured I'd add that. I saw something in the chat that brought it to mind. I guess that would be a no.
Yeah, no, Frank.
Well, if that's the case, we'll hear about it very, very soon.
You are God's child. You are one with Him.
Oh, wow. Do you guys know anybody who used to be a target individual? Because I went online and they said it was a book that this one guy said that he used to be a target individual and he did certain things and now he's not. I don't know. It just.
He's not real then, because once you are a TI, until we find a way out, you are locked into this situation.
You don't get out of this program.
No, you don't.
You don't?
You don't get out.
Wow.
We have to unite and hit the government or find a countermeasure that works. Those are the two options.
Really? Oh, wow.
Richard Lighthouse is very informative, and I suggest that you pick up on his free ebooks that he has on the site. I think it's ourlighthouse.com or richardlighthouse.com. I'm sure if you
the guy's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh, wow.
Frank, you had him on a month ago or something, didn't you?
Yeah, it's up on it's on the site. Targeted Massachusetts is our YouTube channel, and he's there, and Midge Mathis is there, and Midge and Susan and Richard are there. We had all three of them on one night. In fact, I just reposted those to Twitter last night.
I'm going to check that out, man. I really like his idea of going after, like Lockheed, like one, trying to focus on one entity of the mix, He has some good ideas.
He has very good ideas, and he used to work for NASA, and he is an engineer, and he has many, many skills, and he's written many books.
I had no idea he worked for NASA, no.
No, yes, he did. Now, he went to Unity and Hope Gathering in 2017 here in Massachusetts, and he gave a presentation, and his presentation is what swung me more towards satellite as being the source. And it's the only thing that I can think of that makes the targeting seamless. In other words, if you get on a plane here in Boston and you fly to Heathrow in London, you will get the same targeting by the same people.
You fly to Australia, absolutely. Yeah.
You can go anywhere. Brian, too, is a very good example. If you watch some of his videos, you will learn that no matter where he flies, he is in deep trouble and heavily targeted. And it seems
he's getting hit hard, man.
Yeah, it seems like the more he tries to get away, the tougher it is for him. So, with that, I would say it's time to research and look for electronic countermeasures. That's what I'm going to go back to here shortly.
It's a good idea, Frank.
Now,
and you do mean by that shielding and such, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Electronic countermeasures, I believe, are the only way we're going to beat this thing. And the other way, as I mentioned, is the legislature. And that is another pathway that targeted justice is on. Continually researching, continually searching. And that's what we're doing to find the end to this.
Frank, have you done shielding in the past, or?
I haven't found anything that works. I've been into a lot of Tesla's work, including his wireless technology, and it's actually very, very simple once you do it. But there are a lot of things in his work that have to be explored. And I believe the basis for this torture could possibly lie within his work. In addition to the SAT technology. Now, Richard Lighthouse states that there is a satellite component known as Potato that actually is responsible for this. Now, and he also, there is a website you can go to. It's called in-the-sky.org. And you can actually see the satellites. Now, I have one that is like over my head all the time. And it is GPS 15. That's the one that seems to be on me all the time. But they do change depending upon the angle. That's why a lot of people claim to be hit from the side. Well, that's quite normal because these satellites are in actually a very low orbit. So if a satellite is 500 or 1,000 miles to your north, you're going to be having an angle. And the angle gets actually smaller and smaller until it's almost at 90 degrees, coming straight in your window.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There are satellites that are 27,000 miles out in space that are orbiting the Earth. And I'm not sure what they're used for, but at 20,000 or 27,000 miles out in space, they are going to get an entire hemisphere or half of the Earth because their spectrum is so broad. It's just like anything else. The farther you get away from, we'll say, a wall with a flashlight, the bigger the impression of the flashlight on the wall gets.
Right, right. Wow, I didn't know they were that far out.
Yeah, now what those are doing, we're not sure. The GPS satellites that Richard Lighthouse thinks are responsible are in an actual lower orbit, within like 250 miles or so. Well, we'll have Richard on here on this show some night, and on radio as well, because everybody needs a refresher to see, what he has learned relative to the time that's gone by since he was on the last time. And he needs a place to get this information out, and that's right here and radio. He has, all he has to do is call, and unless there's a guest already booked, he can hop right on. He's
definitely get him on, man. That'd be, I hear these. I think I heard from him. Each of these satellites are like $600 million. I mean, this is.
Yeah.
But I guess they don't. But you're saying? Well, no. You're saying if they orbit at 250 miles, 200. What did you say? 250 miles?
Yeah, there's two different types of satellites. There's some that are 27,000 miles out there. Now, I assume they are transmitting a signal that they want picked up globally as the Earth turns. Or they are geosynchronous, but I didn't think that was possible that far out in space. I could be wrong. Geosynchronous just means they travel with the Earth's orbit. And, like the space station and our shuttle in the past, they're not in a geosynchronous orbit. They keep orbiting at, I think it's 1,000 miles an hour they go.
Wow.
Well, we have to find countermeasure, and I believe it's going to be electronic. There's a lot of people, or not a lot, but there's a few people out in the community asking for a lot of money, $1,000 here, $1,000 there, because they think they have the answer. Well, if they are working with a nonprofit organization, they should be able to get this equipment donated from hospitals, donated from just about anywhere you can think of. Like people have gotten old MRI machines from hospitals out in California. And Johnny from out in California has brought that to my attention.
Now that would be interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, you guys. Can I talk, Frank?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn in Kettering, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio, where the shooter's from. I wanted to say, actually, because I just mentioned that the shooter heard voices and saw holograms when he was in high school. And he was in his 20s. But I'm looking at a document from Richard Lighthouse. It's on Targeted Justice, and it's on Richard Lighthouse's website that he has really good data. He has a bunch of ebooks that are free, but his references are space-track.org. This satellite, I wonder if we should protest the satellite companies. And if you agree or disagree, I wonder what you guys think about that, because the only way that they can do voice to skull, not voice to skull, but synthetic telepathy, where brains are talking to brains, that you would have to have a satellite. Is that correct? And should we protest the satellite companies?
Yes, and that is exactly what we are doing. That would be Lockheed Martin. They are the largest manufacturer of weapons for sale and satellites. They are made, I want to say, Sunnyvale, California. There is a Lockheed Martin facility there. And another one is Raytheon. We have one right here in Watertown, Massachusetts.
Grew up next to Sunnyvale in Santa Clara, and I can assure you it's being made in the Lockheed facility. That's their biggest one, although they're so diversified and with locations all over the United States and other countries that you really don't know where they're made, but it is definitely Lockheed.
Yeah, this Vercator system I've looked into, and it has actually progressed into, I think it's Radiotron. I have to look it up. I just found the information.
L3, and the Vercator was made in San Leandro, which is about 35 miles towards the East Bay from Lockheed in Silicon Valley.
Okay, so look up what it has progressed to, what it has evolved into. It begins with R, and I want to say Radiotron, but I might be able to grab it. Oh, you guys can go ahead and carry on. I don't want to dominate the conversation here.
Well, you're not dominating. You're providing us with information. But, yeah, the Vercator was made in San Leandro. And I believe at one time L3 bought them, or some defense contractor.
Yeah, that has...
Since the 80s. The Vercators have been around since the Star Wars strategic whatever initiative, whatever it's called.
That has two capabilities. The Vercator can emit an EMP strike, which will not hurt you, or it's not involved in targeting. And the other one is actually a microwave signal. It is pulse. So that would be deemed ionizing radiation, which is the one that will hurt you.
Right. That's what they're hitting us with, and a lot of the hitting we're getting is deionized radiation, yeah. And Vercator is 3 words. I can't remember what they are. It's a big capacitor that holds a big charge and then shoots it out.
Yeah, L3 merged with another company. I'm trying to go up here.
Yeah, Richard Lighthouse is correct. Although Richard Lighthouse says some of these attacks in the telepathy are coming from cell phone towers, which I believe are possible. So he says it's a system that works together in unison. The satellite and the towers And someone asked me the other day in an email, I get a lot of support emails, and they asked me if the Gwen Towers are doing it too, and I believe they still are in operation.
Yeah, it's L3 Thomas.
Yeah, that's it. I thought L3, you got it.
What is a Gwen Tower?
The
Ground wave emergency network. It was invented during the Cold War to communicate using the ground in case all the antennas break off from a blow explosion.
Excellent. That's very accurate. It was also used to communicate with submarines.
Yeah.
Do you know that back quite some time ago in the Northeast, we could hear a rumbling, very low rumbling noise coming from the west. And we never could figure out what it was. And it was in the news for a while, and then it sort of stopped. But Gwen was down for a while, and I think Gwen has been taken by HAARP or something to that effect.
I believe that they weaponize anything that can send a signal.
I think they do too, and I think you're right.
Yeah.
I still want you to examine the large antenna array that China has that is the size of New York City. So picture that bad boy. And Russia has 3 Duga towers. It's a DUGA. So I assume that it's Duga.
Oh, do you have a reference for that? Or is it on YouTube?
Just
DUGA,
Google.
I can write that down.
Just Google Duga 1, Duga 2, Duga 3.
Duga, okay.
That's the facility that used the Chernobyl plant in 1976 to send a mind control wave to the west, to us, on July 4th, 1976, on our 200th birthday.
Was that it's named after a bird, woodpecker signal that went to Oregon and made people go crazy?
Could be. It could very well be. But
I got that written down.
Mind control frequencies were sent by the Russians. So what I'm trying to say is attacks don't necessarily have to be coming from here, all of them. Some of them, or all of them, may be coming from countries like Russia, who are trying to screw up the population. And they are picking on people, we'll say, from 40 up, we'll say, because we are the last generations to carry a lot of the knowledge. The younger generations, we'll say teens, early 20s, are focused on their cell phones. And because they are focused on their cell phones, they're going to be entrapped by them. That's my opinion. It's not fact.
I think they weaponize the cell phones. You know, Silicon Valley said on 60 Minutes, the one guy that ran it said that the cell phones were designed to be a brain hack, and that was their goal, was to encapsulate people into, watching the screen and walking around, and that was their goal. It was called a brain hacking, and Anderson Cooper was the host, and it's on 60 Minutes. So yeah, I believe that cell phones are part of the weaponizing of humans to break them down so they have no soul or spirit or way to be friendly and have friends and family, and because it's getting ridiculous. I see it all the time. People walk around like zombies. Basically, they're cyborgs, in my opinion. What do you think?
Well, they certainly act like them, but
yeah.
I don't know how much.
Yeah, I met a guy in California who was working in the electronics industry, and he had an app on his phone. And he said, this app, if I hold it up to your head, will read your brain waves and download a whole bunch of stuff from your brain just by transmitting and receiving from your skull. And it was like weird because I didn't want him to do it, but he put his phone up next to my head. He says he's looking at it, he's taking readings. I'm like, no, I don't like that, you know. They have an app for that. If they're I didn't know if he was a perp, but he kind of acts like it, you know. And then it's like they can just download a software that, you know, receiving and transmitting from whoever they want to. I guess it has to be a certain distance from you. Then, you know, they got it, and it's as easy as that.
That's unfortunate that someone would violate your personal space like that. And, you know, yeah. I think that they have assessed that there are people that are good who will get targeted. If I were in the presence of something that took place like that to you or anyone, I would knock that fucking cell phone out of that bitch's hand and smack the shit out of her.
Yeah, but that was before, this was before I had woken up to how big this program was, and, you know, I didn't know exactly what I would do. These days, I would not allow, I would read them far in advance before I got close to them. So, but that was about 6-7 years ago before I had more research done, more contacts, join the community, figure out things. So no, but that was, considering that it was like 2012, that they must be even more advanced by now.
Oh, that's awful. And I remember being like a deer in headlights just for new TIs. Yeah. I was just like, I can't believe what's happening to me, and that you just shoved that phone in my face. Now, many years later, you know, we need to have a more militant approach. We need to find some TIs. Yeah. I'm sorry, that we need spiritual TIs, we need scientists, we need entrepreneurs, we need capitalists, we need think tanks, but we need militant, we need soldiers.
Right. We need trained soldiers who have a set of rules to follow, behavioral rules, just like they do. And, you know, here's the first thing, second thing, third, and this is how you handle the situation.
Now, one thing that's on our site, too, is that there's veterans that are TIs, British and American, in particular in Europe. There are so many websites and so many victims of this weapon system that are veterans. And when they're on the call, we should write their contact information, collect them, and say, look, help us, because, you know, a 20-year-old, fluffy, new, cute TI who, you know, who imagined their whole life was in front of them, and they're just adorable. Unfortunately, just like,
but they get stepped on. Yeah, they get rolled over, and they believe almost anything, and it's hard to break through.
No.
Yeah, I know. They can't accept that they're being betrayed by maybe their company or by their families or by you know, their government that they trusted. You know, it's like, no, it couldn't be them. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it really could be.
Well, you remember when we all thought that it was our cell phone, and it was actually our brain that they had. They were we didn't know that they were looking through our eyes.
Well, I didn't know before that the frequency that they were tracking is a frequency of your own nervous system. They don't have to have a cell phone or a computer to find you. They've already got your frequency. They've already got it tuned up. They know how to, you know, zero in.
So when you say that they don't need a computer, they have your frequency, can you just explain, because I'm not familiar?
with which part of it? Like why they don't need your computer?
Exactly.
Because a computer is actually not as complicated as our own nervous system. So, yeah, they can have computers.
How would they document how would they hold your, monitor it without a computer?
Because they've already zeroed in on your brain waves. Your brain is already transmitting and receiving like a radio.
Yeah, it's a biofrequency.
Biofrequency, thank you. We all have a unique signature. And so once they have that signature on you, they probably, spent a couple of years just monitoring, right, R&M, monitoring and picking up your signals so they know what range, what frequencies, what variations to try to tap you.
Now, when you say that, how are they holding it? Is it another brain?
Probably satellite radar, like Frank was telling us.
It's a supercomputer.
But doesn't a satellite operate with a computer? I thought that you had to have a computer to operate a satellite.
Okay, can I interject something?
Go ahead.
And this is from a PDF, that all of the information gathered is held on the satellite until download, and there is a very involved computer that is already on the satellite, and there would have to be for navigation, for all sorts of different things.
Right, sophisticated, very sophisticated.
Well, I can say it certainly got worse after they put the cell phone towers up around 2004.
Yeah.
And that's when a new influx of victims suddenly arose and started complaining. Now, before that, I could ground this stuff out. And I associated a lot of it with radar. On each of us has a unique set of teeth. But I could ground it out. I could hear the microwaves going away if I grounded my teeth right. But up until those cell phone towers, it was apparent that they relied heavily on aircraft to monitor me. It happened every day, wherever I was at, in a new location for years. And then when those towers, especially when I got out of, say, business district, if I got into a remote area, that's when that plane came in, as if I was out of their targeting area.
Yeah.
But when those cell phone towers came in, it's as if that took. That's all they needed. I don't know. I don't know what else they could have.
But there's a computer on the pilot has a computer, right? Can we get a definition of radar? And because the pilots all track us, and then we get drones, but those are computer operated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Radar,
right. Well, it's all linked together.
Radar sends out a signal. Okay, when it runs into something, these signals are collected. So the signals are collected reveals, we'll say, a plane, an image of a plane. You've all seen radar in towers at airports function. They show an aircraft. Well, they're going to show you and all the information. I don't know if you've seen any Chinese videos lately, but these Chinese videos show people riding bicycles, driving cars, walking, and they all have who they are above their head, what they're doing, where they're going, and if they have a cigarette in the wrong place, they cannot buy anything. If they screw up again, they cannot buy real estate. If they screw up again, just by smoking a cigarette, they end up in prison. And they're mind controlled in prison. And I have a lot of information that backs that up. So they have some serious mind control prisons. And they never ever get out. Their only hope is to befriend somebody in the upper echelon of the prison system, and they may be able to sweep the floor or, deliver whatever kind of magazines, books, whatever that are available. I don't know. But that's the only way.
Maybe depending a lot.
Did you know, Frank, that Wales and England are doing the social credit system now?
Oh, I was just looking at dolphins. You just said that, man. Yeah, dolphins.
I'm in your mind, baby.
Wales is doing it?
Wales and England are doing the social credit score system now, and from a source I got, we're 60% there right now.
So how does it meter out? The same type as China?
They monitor with surveillance. They use the facial recognition and the cameras, and they watch you, and they see your comments on social media. They see your credit score. They see what you do for a living. They see your income, your bank accounts, and they make a decision on you on a social level.
Huh. Very good.
Yeah.
Mm.
I wanted to say this, that I do think that our thoughts are hooked up to a computer, and so our thoughts about our targeting will influence what happens to the people in the future. And I think that even while we're trying to figure out how it works, that we must say that we will get free, that we will fight to get free, that we will be strong enough to fight to get free, that the only thing that matters is that we get free from this bullshit. And no matter how slick they sell AI, because, one of the things that they sold to me is that, you'll be smarter when you're hooked up to a computer. But they didn't tell me in the voice to skull that there would be a hive of humans that were less intellectually capable than myself, and that they would mooch off of my intellectual property. But that, the revolution is always that the human race fights to the bitter end, no matter what.
The computer system is made up of two words, yes and no. They'll examine something 1,000 or 1,000,000 times, and they get so many yeses and so many nos, and when they get the significant amount of yeses that they need, they say yes. Isn't that ridiculous?
Oh, I get things different than that. I get possibly, or I get.
Oh no, that's not what I get. I'm telling you how a computer works.
Oh well, subliminally they send me that possibly or stuff like that. I mean, it's not always cut and dried as yes and no. But yeah, I see what you're saying. But on my end, it's possible, or some crazy crap like that if I'm doing something.
Well, that's a form of philosophy in sociology and psychology and manipulation. That are you unable to make a decision based on your inability to have enough information? If you don't have enough information, you might say, well, I don't know, maybe. So when the chatterbox talks to you subliminally, you might say yes or no while you're sleeping, that they talk to you when you sleep, especially when you're vulnerable. And even when you're awake, your brain fractures in so many ways, in my opinion, that when you say, well, I don't know, don't do that. You need to make a decision where you stand as a man. And you need to say, absolutely not. I do not consent to being hooked up to a computer. Because because
electronic beam come in. I mean, are y'all not getting that beam flashing at you occasionally when you move real quick? I mean, where does that fit in this targeting?
Yes, I get that. I don't know what it is. I get it all the time.
I do too. If I move real quick, I mean, it's like, it's like it's trying to catch me, and it's very aggravating.
Does it look like helicopter? Let me see.
No.
A helicopter.
I remember the first time I've seen it, it looked like it was lightning in the sky, and then after that, it was just like a blinking light on me real quick.
Yeah, it's
and
like
I got that today. I get it all the time.
It's a vertical, straight. It's not necessarily a beam as it is. It's almost a vertically straight, like lightning, flashing real quick. You know.
Yeah. I don't understand that.
And the peripheral vision part of the eyes, and it might go from anywhere from 1 to 3 to 4 times, especially, say, if I move my head real quick.
Mm-hmm. They just did it to me because we're speaking about it. They just did it to me.
Well, I get it on and off all throughout the day. I mean, I can be outside and this will hit me, you know, and it's like, you know, I just try to shake it off or put something to redirect it or get rid of the thing. But it's definitely a part of the target process.
I want to ask something. I'm sorry, because I have full remote neural monitoring and synthetic telepathy, so they make me forget stuff. But what if they're going to do a voting system and they say, how many people on the planet want to be hooked up to AI, and how many of them don't? And that's just the question. That's the only question. And that the gang stalkers say, yes, I want to be hooked up. I accept being attached to a bunch of stupid people on the planet and the computer. And then the computer takes everything that we think and see and feel and taste and smell and feeds it to these losers. And what if it's a voting system of some sort? Like they count how many people want to be AI.
They don't need to, Marilyn. They've already done it.
No, I mean, AI is controlled by humans. I don't believe that AI is going to destroy the world unless the people that operate the system want to destroy the world. I don't believe that AI is going to destroy the world unless the humans want it to. You can shut a computer off anytime they want. They can shut it off.
But you're posing it as an option for the people to decide on when they're already employing it on the people.
Yeah. They probably won't put it to a vote because it's already done.
No, I know. And so in most of the perps are probably not intellectually as capable as you. Like, Sue, I believe you're much smarter than myself, but, like, if you ask most of the northern colonies, all the colonies are filled with spoiled assholes, I'll just say. You know, and if they make it look really glossy. Like, once you got your first iPhone, it's a done deal. I personally was repelled by all of it, and I only used it at work. And I wonder the psychology behind if they do the New World Order to mind control the whole planet, that it's still a form of voting, even that we can still fight, but we have to convince the stupid that's the wrong idea to be attached to the computer, that you should not have an RFID chip on yourself or your dog. You don't need to track your dog. If your dog doesn't want you, it will run. Fuck you and your dog.
If your dog wants to come back, it'll come back.
Exactly. If your husband wants to leave you, don't chip your husband. And, you know, so they want to, with facial recognition in China, absolutely not. And many people might not know what that means. And maybe a lot of people in China don't really understand what facial recognition means, but their whole entire anatomy is hooked up to a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And that that maybe the march on Washington for TIs is that we have to be educators, which is a pain in the ass because, you know, like I say, you know, I just want to paint watercolors. But
I know. We need to be powerful advertisers just like the tech companies do. If we ever got millions and millions of dollars, we could run big, bold ads on television and get people influenced. That's how they do it.
Mm-hmm. And I bet, you know, like Dr. John Hall, he said he knows Hollywood stars that are targeted, and he knows there's politicians. Robert Duncan, too, I bet even a lot of the people that run the conference calls might get calls from well-to-do, affluent people that have resources.
Yeah, it could be.
Right.
But until they find out that they're being monitored or, somehow tortured. I mean, what happened to Robin Williams? We all guessed that he was targeted to suicide. We don't even know if it was a real suicide, and he had enough money to do something. But what was the breaking point for him, and where did, how much information was he able to get on his condition?
Did you know that he wrote books?
No, I didn't.
I didn't know that. I was part of the Black conscious community, and there is a activist who wrote a book, and she references him. This book is about 1,000 pages long. She references Robin Williams, a white comedian. I couldn't believe it. And he's so militant. He's so conscious about his brain was totally superior, and we didn't even know it.
Yeah, he was he wasn't a genius. He was close to it. Yeah. But those are the kind of people they like to take down. They're really, really, genius, creative, cutting edge people.
Yeah.
So they don't have
Howard Hughes wandering around out in the desert. Remember that when he was couldn't be found?
He locked himself in a safe room or something. Mm-hmm.
Even Mao of China, communist China, they target professors, artists, intellectual scientists. They go up there. Yeah, they go up there to smart people.
That's what they did in the 30s in Nazi Germany. Those were the first groups that they took down, were the professors, the scientists. If they didn't join, then they were taken down or disappeared.
Microwave.
I mean, it would even be like, these young white guys who are computer hackers, and then the military scares them and then hires them to spy on us.
Yeah,
that if we had enough money, we could buy people to be on our team.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Cheryl here.
Hi.
Just joining in. Thank you.
That was who?
Cheryl Lewis.
Cheryl. Cheryl.
Yeah, Cheryl Lewis.
Yeah, man. I wish we could get hackers to hack these supercomputers and break them.
So I have a question. Is Frank simulcasting tonight? Because I know it was kind of important.
I don't think so.
It's not simulcasting? Because he tried to do it last time. He was successful with it.
Do you guys know they have clothes called anti-surveillance clothes? They just came out with like maybe 8 days ago. They're selling online. So when you buy the clothes, you put the clothes on, and when you go out in the public, they can't locate you. They'll think you're a license plate. They got license plate clothing, and they got anti-surveillance clothing.
Oh, that's
you guys
easy.
Heard of that?
That's easy. Just stick them in the microwave for a couple seconds. That'll take care of that.
Really? Because they selling it now. They even sell it at TJ Maxx, and you can get it online.
You got a link? Can you send a link in the chat so we can see what you're talking about? Can you put a link in the chat so we can see what you're talking about?
I don't have it. My sister had told me about it. She said it's called anti-surveillance clothing or license plate clothing. And she said when you put it on, she said they just came out with it like maybe 8 days ago. And if you go out in the public, when the camera beam on you, they would think you were a car because it's license plate clothing. If you go online, it's a license plate clothing. That's what she told me. Anti-surveillance clothing. There's like two different lines. So whoever did it, she was a TI too. And that's when she said the lady who designed the clothes was a TI. And that's what she came up with.
I've heard of that before. I've
really?
heard of this. Yeah, I have. But actually, I heard it about 2 weeks ago. Somebody was talking about the license plate.
Well, she told me like 8 days ago. So
that's really interesting. Mm-hmm. So what they see is a license plate if they try to track you. Is that the idea?
They would see a car. You would look like a car to them, so they won't be able to locate you. But I'm like, everybody needs to go buy some clothes like that because before they buy them all out, the government buy them all out.
Sounds like a scam to get you to buy their stuff.
Interesting. Kim, I want to say something about those beams that are getting to your eyes, or that you can see, and they're flashing light.
Yeah.
Do you feel them hitting? Are they at all painful or like a shock?
They're distracting.
Yeah.
And they're burning. They have some kind of burn behind them.
Do me a favor.
Mine sting, because sometimes they sting my eyes with them.
Yeah. Protect your eyes, you guys.
Yeah.
Protect your eyes. Please get some glasses that protect you from frequencies.
But it's not necessarily directed. I mean, it's like it's coming in on the side.
I
just get it on my peripheral vision type deal. So
please, still.
I don't know what the hell it is.
Well,
where do you get the
what they're trying to... I get those glasses on Amazon where I get everything else. Just look on Amazon for protective eyewear. And the thing is, what they do is mess with your eyes until they
I don't think nothing stops this beam. I've tried the foil. I've tried sheet metal. I've tried all kinds. The titanium dioxide on black usually works real good. And that doesn't reflect it. Nothing stops this beam. And
is it blue?
It's very thin.
It's a scalar wave, and you cannot stop it. The Tesla.
I see a blue beam. What color is this beam that you see?
This is a white, clear, like lightning color beam. White.
Well, they really do try to mess with your retinas, and which can turn into macular degeneration, which can blind you over a period of time.
Well, I don't know what it's targeting. Maybe it's just targeting my teeth. But I pick it up with my eyes when it flashes. I mean, it could be picking up my whole body, as a long beam. I mean, it's not that fast. I mean, I can usually sense the frequency in some manner, with regards to its emanation. Believe it or not, whether it's a long wave or a short wave, blah blah blah. But it's not that fast. I mean, if I can easily distinguish it, coming down, then and it's coming down. I mean, it may be coming at me from a vertical position. It's a horizontal beam, but it comes at me from vertical, and then it just shoots as it comes. It shoots down. So I mean, I don't know its length or its height or its frequency. All I know is the damn thing is very distracting.
Well, okay. Try something, please, because they can blind you with that activity.
And maybe it's a continual solid beam, and then it's only me that's noticing the what you would call it, like when it's interrupted every couple seconds.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just a solid.
Do you ever get floaters like little?
Oh God, yeah. They got all kinds of neurotoxins in me.
Okay, well, floaters can come from this too. When they try to damage your retinas, that can come up as looking like floaters. I know this because I've been looking into this for years. Just do your best, please. Please protect your eyes if you can.
Oh, I try to.
What's the name of the glasses you say for me to get?
Just protective eyewear, and you'll get a whole mess of you get a whole bunch of glasses coming up to choose from. And they range from like $20 to $100, depending on what you want to get. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for the information.
Yeah. And then I'm going to add something on to Linda. There are something called anti-glare orange glasses.
Yes.
And those can be, there's different types. You can use the ones for the lasers, or you can use the ones for, the computer. And they vary in cost from like $8 to $5 to $20.
Right.
Yeah.
And they keep the blue light out too. Oops. The blue light that doesn't do our eyes any good either. It keeps us awake. It's harder to get to sleep after you've been on the computer forever because of the blue light. So, yeah, those orange glasses are great. That helps too. I have them on as we speak.
Yeah, they do help. I use them at my computer. Sometimes I'll wear them to bed too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it looks weird, but it works. So, some days I don't. My eyes are dry though.
Yeah, Amazon also has some eye masks with little magnets around the eyes, just little ones. Nothing that's going to do any, but it helps keep the frequencies away from your eyes at night. At least that's what they say, and I believe it, so I wear them every night.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to mention that. We need to protect ourselves, as we all know. So, Janie, you have the controls tonight. Very cool. Jamie?